Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a little bit of a different video, and I'm actually going to be talking about something that happened last year, and it is my knee surgery. So I kind of felt like making a video. You know, there might be some people out there who are going through the same things that I was going through this time last year, or you know, anything, and I'm just going to explain what exactly happened and everything that went through my little head at the time. I overstretched and tore my medial collateral ligament, which is on the inside part of your knee. When I was 10, for those of you who don't know, I used to do calisthenics, and I was very competitive in that, and I went to nationals, and it was my first year of nationals, and I remember this whole experience so clear. And if any of you who were in my team or my coaches or anybody who was there know that I was in a lot of pain that day. I went on for free exercise, this is at nationals, on stage, and did a trick and ended up coming out of it badly, and I continued with the routine, but I came off in so much agony. I could not walk. There was something wrong with my knee. I knew it, and it was the most excruciating pain I've ever been in. Yeah, I didn't even know what was happening. Nothing like this had happened to me before. So I went, you know, to the doctors, all this, and they ended up like saying, you know, when you're older and your body finishes developing and growing, not that I ever grew after I was 10, but that's okay. But yeah, you will have to get surgery. Throughout my whole calisthenics, dancing, you know, up until, well, last year, my knees were always a bit troublesome, but nothing too serious, you know. I'd have days where I couldn't do anything, but, you know, always danced through it, pushed through it. The beginning of last year, I really hurt my ankle. I don't remember how I did it, but I just remember I really hurt my ankle. Anyway, I continued to dance through, you know, my dance teachers, they told me to go to the physio, go to the doctors, get it checked out. You know, I did that, got told that I shouldn't be dancing for a couple of weeks or until it heals. Yeah, never told anybody about that. And so I continued to dance, and then I ended up hurting my hip on the same leg. And if you don't know, your hip, knees and ankles are all connected. So, yeah, after I ended up having a stress fracture in my ankle, and then I hurt my hip. So I went to the physio thinking, oh, maybe there's something wrong, like, you know. Go to the physio, he's told me that I have a stress fracture in my ankle, and it's really bad, you really should rest. I have also torn a muscle in my hip. Great. You know, awesome. Have a Stedford's coming up, so you know what? I have to dance. I have to keep going. So, you know, I kept dancing, and it just kept getting worse and worse. You know, my teachers would always tell me to sit down if I'm in pain and all this. I didn't want to listen to them. I wanted to dance. I didn't want to listen to my mum. I didn't want to listen to anyone. I wanted to dance, you know. Dancing was my number one focus, and I didn't care about a stupid injury. So I just kept dancing. I didn't think it'd be serious. So I kept dancing until I couldn't dance. I was at my studio and I was walking into class. We had performance class, and we had an Stedford like this weekend coming. So I'm walking down the hall to go into my class, and next minute my knee buckles and I fall over. One of my friends was with me. I don't remember who. But I just remember falling over. I didn't trip, didn't do anything like that. my knee just gave way and I fell. So I was just like, oh no, I'm fine. I walked into class and we did our warm-up. Then we start doing corner work and we're doing pirouettes. One pirouette and something went wrong in my knee and I started crying, and I took myself out of finishing the combination. Like, I sat down or I pretty much limped and sat down, and I was just crying and crying. I was in such bad pain. Obviously, like, this little injury that I thought was nothing turned out to be pretty serious, because I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything, and you know, like, I let my team down because we had an Eisteddfod on the weekend, and this was our last rehearsal for our Eisteddfod, and you know, they had to reblock the number and everything. I ended up going, you know, to the doctors and everything, and ended up having being told that I had to have surgery. It was inevitable. Like, you know, there was no way out of it. I had to have it. So they told me that there were 2 surgeries that I could have. One meant that, one was a ligament repair. So they would take a ligament out of my hamstring and replace the one in my knee. Replace my medial ligament with a ligament out of my hamstring. And the other one, and that meant, you know, just a couple of stitches, keyhole surgery. I'd be able to dance in 3 to 6 months. It's fine. The other one was more serious. So it involved screws, and it involved, not being able to dance ever again. And so there were, like, at this stage I didn't know which one I had to have, and my surgeon told me that it was more than likely I would have to have this one that involved screws, and meant that I wouldn't be able to dance again. That was a bit of a big deal. Dancing is my life. I've done some sort of dance, like some form of dance, since I was 2. And to be told that you'd never be able to dance again, that's a big deal. But dancing's my life. I want to be a dancer, you know. And so that was a bit of a big deal, and it really, really affected me. I ended up, like, this was over a few months. You know, I had to get all these tests done, and MRIs and X-rays and all these scans. It took a few months. And thankfully, I didn't have to get that surgery. I had the less complex one, which involved the hamstring tendon ligament replacement and just some stitches. And so that was just great. So leading up to the surgery, I was super scared. You know, I stayed up. I literally did not sleep. I stayed up all night, every night, Googling and searching everything about this surgery, from just the simple surgery to dances with this surgery to... I just searched everything. I literally went into every website. I read all these articles. I read everything. And, you know, there was the articles that said that he recovered amazingly and that they were dancing and in ballets and all this stuff a couple months later, and that was great. But I also read the negative ones where it said that the surgery failed, or, you know, that they weren't able to dance, or they weren't able to play football, or they had to have the surgery again, or something like that. And, you know, those are the ones that stuck with me. And so that really scared me. The day came and I went in. My surgery, I was fine. I put on a brave face, went in, and, you know, came out. So when I woke up from the surgery, the nurses in the post-operation room were like, how are you? You know, are you alright? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Can I have a coffee? Anyway, I went back to my room. Bless my mother's soul. She had a coffee waiting for me. And then, you know, that recovery time in the hospital, I was only in the hospital for 2 days, one night. And, you know, that was fine. I guess because I was on medication and I was really drugged up. I was fine. And, yeah, they called me a model patient, so that was good. And then, typical me again, goes to dancing on the day that I'm released from the hospital. So, you know, I went off to dancing and everybody was very surprised to see me there, I think. I was drugged, very, very drugged, and I sat in the dance class, and I don't really remember what happened that dance class because I was so drugged. The first week's meant to be the hardest week of recovery. My 1 week of hard recovery turned into about 3 because I was allergic to every single one of my medications. They made me throw up and hallucinate, and it was not a fun time. Like, all of that, the hallucinations and the nausea and the vomiting, you know, if I didn't have that, that week would have been great. It would have been so much better. I couldn't eat. I couldn't even drink water or anything because I would literally throw up everything. I ended up not having any of them, taking all that, and I just had, you know, just regular pain relief. You know, I recovered really fast, actually, other than that first part, but I went to the physio every week, I think. Yeah. And he gave me exercises for my knee. And you know what was the weirdest thing about my exercises and my recovery was the fact that I literally could not move my leg. Like, I know that's like, well, you just had surgery, but I felt like I could, but I couldn't. Like, I'd try so hard to literally lift my leg up, and I couldn't. I had no muscle in my leg whatsoever. So rebuilding that muscle was very hard. It was, you know, I had to do a lot of stuff to rebuild that muscle when I couldn't actually move it. But, you know, I got there in the end, and I went to my dance classes every single, like, class, and I just remember sitting in class always just wanting to get up and dance. I didn't even care if they were doing, like, you know, like, strength as in, like, sit-ups, and they were doing that sort of stuff. I wanted to do it so bad. I just wanted to get up and participate in the class, and it just really sucked, and it really brought me down that I couldn't do it. I went home and I'd study dance all the time. I think I had, my recovery was like 3 months, and I got back into dance, and I was super excited. I started dancing and I realised, wow, this is hard. I can't do these things. I can't even do a single pirouette without, like, I can't do it. I can't jump as high as I used to be able to. I can't do the splits on this leg. And, you know, that stuff really got me down. And even just the fear of getting over doing certain things, like, that got me down because I was too afraid to do it. And that really sucked. And it just made me not want to dance anymore. I did tell my friends, because they were always like, you know, my friends, like my dance friends, I tell them everything. They're like the closest people to me, you know, they understand. And yeah, I remember telling them, like, Eric, oh, I don't want to be here. How much longer left of class do we have? Like, I hate this. I don't want to be here. I don't want to dance anymore. Literally throw my dreams away, you know. I got this surgery and then I hate it. I hate dancing. Near the end of the year, my studio opened up. Like they said that they were doing a certificate 3, like studying dance for the next year, which is this year. And, you know, because I've always wanted to be a dancer, you know, my mum really pushed me towards doing it. I ended up enrolling in it, so, you know, I had to stick around for dancing a bit longer, obviously. And I ended up coming back this year and, you know, I kind of got really, like, during the holidays, like, I just got really down and I didn't know what to do. But when I came back to dancing, I came in with a fresh view of dance and I said to myself, it's a fresh year, it's a clean start, you know, you're just going to go in there, you're going to dance, you're going to do this because you love it and you're going to give it your all, absolute everything, and you know, you're working on your career, you're going to do this. And you know, I went in to the year and I started dancing and I fell back in love with it, and I am so glad that I didn't quit. I didn't give up on my dream just because I was going through a hard time with getting back into it after surgery. I just feel like, you know, if I didn't go into the beginning of this year with that attitude, then I wouldn't be enjoying it as much as I do. And, you know, there have obviously been times like this year when I can't do things. There are still times now where my knee hurts a little bit and, you know, it's a bit of a struggle for me to do certain things, but I just keep pushing through, not pushing through that pain. I mean, I keep resetting my mind to the positive place where I'm getting through it, and, you know, it's something that you don't get over the pain straight away. Like, I keep having to rethink my thoughts and think, it hasn't even been a year since you've had surgery. Obviously, you're gonna be struggling a little bit still. If you're going through something like I went through, you know, you really need to just keep pushing through and never giving up, and remember the feelings of that thing, you know, remember how much happiness, like, that one thing gives you. But yeah, that's about it for my surgery story. So thanks for watching today's video. That's my story, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And I shall see you all next week. Peace.